Hello, Chinook fans, and welcome to Moonlight Grand Field as we recap the 2023 season, as we do after every campaign. I sit down with the field manager of the Lakeshore Chinooks, being joined here by Trevor Cho. My name is Matt Menzl, and Coach, hard to believe that, again, your first year at the helm has come to a close, the summer of 2023 in the book. But, a lot's been made about you growing up as a Chinooks fan. Obviously, you spent 2022 on the Chinooks coaching staff. How special, forget about wins and losses, but how special was it for you to spend this summer as the field manager?
No, I mean, it's awesome, Matt. You're right. I can remember, walking to games as a kid, and, just the fact that, even last year that I got to be a part of it on a different side, the coaching staff, working with the hitters, it was, awesome last year. And then when I had the opportunity to come back as a manager, that's honestly a dream job, Matt. And, like you said, put the wins and losses away. I mean, if you have the chance to show up at the field every day, have a job, especially here at Moonlight Grand Field with Lake Michigan right out there, I mean, you honestly can't ask for anything better. And then, me personally, growing up in Mequon, playing a lot of games here growing up, playing in the state championship game here, this place holds a lot of special memories in my heart, and I definitely created a lot more this summer. So, I mean, if you look at the season from that perspective, it couldn't have been better.
No question you came to these Chinooks with plenty of coaching experience, but from a head coaching standpoint, a new opportunity for you. What was maybe the biggest adjustment for you going from being an assistant to being the head guy?
Yeah, I think that, every stop that you have in every different position, you have, like, the one thing that you can always get is just a little bit more feel. So, I mean, that definitely was a big adjustment when it came to writing lineups, putting the rotations together, knowing who was going to come out of the bullpen. Like, that was a first-time experience for me. Definitely a lot of learning in that, which, I mean, same thing with coaches and players and umpires and whoever in this league. It's a developmental league, and, just from my perspective, did I develop as a coach? Absolutely. And then, just making sure that guys are healthy, making sure that guys are in a good mind space for that day. It was all new, and it was a great experience for me.
When you look at, just making that adjustment, what do you feel was the most challenging aspect of the adjustment? What was maybe the most enjoyable aspect of the adjustment?
I think, well, to start off with the most enjoyable, just the fact that on a team that meant so much to me, I could kind of leave like my own blueprint on it. So, that I think that was kind of like the most enjoyable part was just being able to have a big say in everything that was happening on the field. I think the most challenging thing was just making sure that you're getting with the guys every single day, just kind of gauging where they're at physically with their health, making sure that they're able to go out there. And there's a lot of different things that pop up in a 72-game stretch. So, just making sure that, guys are, physically and mentally ready. And then, what's the best approach for that? Is that having a team meeting every day? Is that making sure that you're getting with guys one-on-one? So I would just say that was kind of the biggest learning experience for me just on the managing side.
You talk about a 72-game summer. What is the key to surviving a season like this and all that, comes with 72 games?
I think, the best way to approach that is just under the mindset that, if you're in the Northwoods, same thing with me as a coach or a player, like, you're going to get better. Like, nobody comes to the Northwoods and becomes a worse coach or a worse player. So if you can kind of give that perspective to the guys, and I had to remind myself that all the time, is just that, there's different ways that you're going to get better, but, if you finish it out to the finish line and you go in with that mindset every day, like, you're going to get better.
And I know you touched on it a little bit, but I got to believe you're pleased with the growth you've made in those 72 games?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the first game of the year, we were in Wisconsin Rapids, got a win, and I got a bunch of text messages from people, phone calls, just congratulating me. And, like, the one thing I kept saying back to everybody was, man, like, that was a physically, emotionally, and a spiritually draining experience. So I think kind of like throughout the summer, I just kind of, realized what it takes to manage a game. So, yeah, from that standpoint, it was great too.
Yeah, how do you go about, the emotions of a season, not getting too high but not getting too low? What's key to, just, I guess, managing those emotions?
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of, one of the strengths that I have as a manager. Like, just kind of joking around with the guys, I'll say, like, you know what, I'm the same guy every day. And, one thing that I learned last year on the hitting side was, it honestly did not matter if you went 4 for 4 the game before, if you went 0 for 4. Like, each day you have new challenges, you have new opportunities. So just understanding that each day presents new opportunities, new challenges, and just staying neutral with that. Like, if you go 0 for 4, if you have a bad outing pitching, like, the Northwoods doesn't stop. You're going to have a challenge the next day. So just making sure, if you do have a good outing, good hitting performance, like, there's a new situation coming for you the next day, or vice versa, where, good or bad, you have new challenges the next day.
How would you go about summarizing this 2023 season?
I'm just going to kind of go back to myself, but going to just I'll put it like this: every day, after BP, after the meal, head to the locker room, and there hasn't been one day when I haven't just been fired up to get out there. And I think, with the guys, they would say the same thing too, where, get the work done early in the day, and then when it comes game time, that's what you live for. This season presented me with a lot of new challenges. It let me know I have a lot of room to go as a coach. But just the fact that we had just awesome guys in the clubhouse, on both sides, hitters and pitchers, it was awesome just to be around the guys every day.
We talked about your growth as a coach. How about when you look at this team, this roster, do you like the growth you saw from the players?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you can just kind of look at the amount of guys that we had come in who were JUCO or in the portal and see all them commit. We had Avery Owusu-Asido get drafted. Ton of guys that are close to knocking on the door for franchise records that, you kind of mentioned to me. So, and really, that's what it's all about. Getting guys drafted. I think one of the cooler things here at Moonlight Grand Field is seeing all the MLB posters out there of the former Chinooks. So, and I think this group, it's definitely going to have some guys that, are going to have a shot to get their banner up there. So, yeah, I'll go with that.
And one thing that stood out to me, too, is when you look at the breakdown of wins and losses, this team was involved in close to 30 one-run games, which tells me and probably tells you this team was competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. At any stretch of the year, if that's in the beginning with some of the temp contracts that are in there, and then when you kind of move past that, you got to the first half bulk, the second half bulk of players. There really wasn't a time when I thought, we didn't have a chance to compete for that night against any team. And I think that, 30 games we were within one run, good or bad side of it. That just shows that, we were in every single game, and clearly the guys showed up and put a good effort out there.
To wrap it up, how do you approach now the off season? Do you take some time off? Do you go right back into baseball mode? What is your approach?
Matt, I'm getting right back into it. I think that this is an awesome place to spend your summer, and I think college coaches, just based off the alumni list, the schools that you see out here every summer, every night, they're willing to send guys out here, and I really think that Lakeshore is not, if it's not the best, it's close to the best in terms of places where you can spend your summer in the Northwoods. So, just knowing that, I'm just going to get right to the roster, kind of dive in deeper to see what we did well, what areas that we could improve on, and where the roster needs to go from there. So when it comes to, kind of the off-season stuff, I'm just going to try to, see what we can get for the 24 season.
Coach Cho, thanks for your time. All the best this offseason.
Yep, thanks, Matt. Same to you.
And thank you, Chinook fans. We'll see you again in 2024.